Welcome to the Author's Porch, where every good conversation happens. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride from author to author. We want to give you an experience where you learn and enjoy the conversation. Authors tell you about their journey, you learn about new books, and at the end of the day, you go home with a smile on your face because the Author's Porch is a beacon of light, bringing you home to the family you never knew you had. We hope that you enjoy the show. Hey everybody, welcome to the Author's Porch, where every great conversation happens. I'm back. I know you missed my face from 30 minutes ago, but I had to come back. Guys, I am absolutely stoked. We have Elizabeth Casanova here on the show with us right now. How are you doing, Elizabeth?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Guys, Elizabeth is here in Brownsville with me. Can you believe that? I finally got an author here in Brownsville with me. And I know you're like, well, why are you not in person with her? Listen, had I thought about it, actually paid more attention, I probably would have talked to our local bookstores here or something and said, hey, can we do a show here in person? I'm going to try to do that one time because that's going to be super cool. But let me give you a little more information on Elizabeth before we go into our organic conversation, because I've been looking forward to having this one for quite some time. Ever since she reached out and said she was from Brownsville, I was like, I went to my husband. I said, Verdi, a Brownsville author wants to talk to me. I feel like I shouldn't be, in this place. Like, oh my God, this is so cool. So, Elizabeth, um, we have never met in person, but I'm hoping that we're going to have an opportunity. She's been writing since she was a small child, penning poetry and short stories, and recently she has published her first children's book, which she went to the mall and actually did a signing and read her books to children there, and it's called My Best Friend, the Cat. Thank you for being here, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
So I looked at the graphics for this, and you designed this book yourself, correct?
Yes, I designed everything. First I did like small sketches, and from the small sketches, I brought it into Photoshop, and from there I designed everything, from scratch.
Your background is in graphic and digital design.
Yes.
And have you been drawing and designing stuff for how long now?
Since I got my associates in digital media in 2017, and from there I went to get my bachelor's. So from 2017, that's about over um, like 5 years. So
Mhm.
I have like a lot of experience in graphic design. So I've been doing that for quite a while.
And you're currently working on a master's in creative writing.
Yes, hopefully I graduate in late June.
Like, you're gonna have it all. Like, you could literally create the most masterful books and do it all yourself.
Yes, that's what I'm
Like,
hoping to do later on.
that's fantastic because I write children's books and I'm going, I need somebody to do the pictures because I can't draw a stick figure to save my life. So it's like you're getting to do it all yourself. That's amazing. I love people that are that creative and then they take it that even further. So how long did you know you wanted to write books?
Well, since I was little, I loved reading stories, especially like scary stories. I was into all that kind of spooky stuff, or reading about unsolved mysteries or local legends. And I always wanted to create something similar to that. So
Yeah.
that's why my first book, it was something about like ghosts and spirits. So I was really excited
Uh,
about that. And I just wanted to also be a writer and share my stories out there. So for as long as I can remember, that's been a dream of mine.
And you say local legends. I will tell you, I'm not originally from Brownsville. You are, so you can attest to this. I've been down here for 5 years, and before that, 5 more years before I moved down here, I was listening to my husband tell me about the local legends. This is one of the most famous places in the United States. People do not realize there are more local legends down here than anywhere else in the United States. Two former US presidents marched down here to create what the border of Mexico was going to be at Fort Brown. So you've got a lot of writing material that you could kind of, you know, gain off of, right?
Yes, yeah. I know. I also did like a poster design talking about the local legends here in Brownsville, and I it was in the showcase for the poster was in Edinburgh, and a lot of people didn't. Well, they were kind of tripping out on the local ghost cows that were on 511. Not a lot of people heard about that, but
Uh,
supposedly there's ghost cows here in Brownsville where like people swear they see them. Yeah, and a lot of people were tripped out. They're like, "What? Like ghost cows?" But yeah, it's been a local legend here in Brownsville, and also you have the Llorona, which a lot of people said that they killed her here, and the ghost
I'm,
of Fort Brown. A lot of students and staff say that they've like heard things or seen things there. So Brownsville does have a lot of like history and local legends and
yeah.
spooky stuff.
So I worked when I first came down here. I worked at TSC for 2 years, and I just ate alive all of the history there on Fort Brown. And I will tell you at Jacob Brown Auditorium, it's true because I would hear things there when once we turned the lights out and I worked the events and I had to leave at night and turn lights off, and the lights were in the back, and you had to leave out the front. So I would walk really fast, and you would hear stuff, and I don't know because it's an old creepy building or whatever, but it's
Hmm.
absolutely fascinating. I heard of Euro. I can't even say it very well. Obviously, I one of the things I have failed to do being down here is learn a lot of Spanish, and my
Hmm.
enunciation is horrible. Like La Llorona. Did I say it?
Yeah, you
I
said it
tried
fine.
to. But I did not I haven't heard about the ghost cows. That's I'm gonna have to talk to you about that one. But
Hmm.
so why this book? Why my cat, my best friend the cat?
Well, when I grew up, well, I had my cat named Spikie, and he was just a really awesome cat. You know, he was always with me,
Yeah.
and you know, like I would feel sad a lot, or I would have a lot of stress when I was little, and he would just keep me company, and he would always like be there with me and kind of comfort me, and I just thought like making a story, kind of paying like tribute or just like dedicated to him, saying of how much of a best friend he was and how important to me he was, and I want to share that story, and then also mention how other people also love their pets and have them as companions, and it's very important because animals they love unconditionally. You know, they don't care how you look or who you are. You know, as long as you're kind to them, they'll always be with you and they'll always comfort you and they'll be there by your side.
Yeah.
So that was the point of my story, and also, um, you know, sadly, animals pass on way before we do, and
Mhm.
sometimes they're always with us in spirit, and even though they're not physically here, they're with us, and you know they'll send us messages in their own kind of way. Sometimes a new animal will come along, or we'll just sometimes you'll feel that they're there and kind of telling
Yeah.
you like you'll be fine, or you'll like you're not alone. You know, kind of cheering you on or helping you along the way.
You're absolutely right, and I feel every bit of that because I'm a huge dog lover. I don't know if you hear Daisy over here snoring. If you hear the snoring, it's my dog. I promise I'm not sitting here with another human snoring. I have 5 dogs. We had 6 before February when we lost one. He
Oh.
was my little soulmate, Marco, and after he passed, because we called him the cat, and the reason was is he would always see him on my shows. He would jump up here, and he always slept on the top of the pillows and stuff. And he had cat-like mannerisms.
Mhm.
And after he passed, I would be sleeping and I would feel something jump up here still. So I think that they're with you no matter what. Or there's little
Yeah.
things that I still find around the house that Marco would do, and I'm like, ah, that was Marco. He did that again. He's not here anymore. So I think it's a beautiful message, especially for kids who lose pets and they get so close to them and know that
Mhm.
you're still gonna um, feel their presence no matter what. You have some guests here that are chiming in. I just want you to see their support real quick. So we have Carolina Lara, amazing book. Sounds like she's read it and she's a big supporter there. You also have Yola Nova here supporting you. And this looks like it could be a family member, Margie Laura Casanova. So
Oh,
you've
yes, that's
got,
my mom.
oh, perfect. I love that. I absolutely love it. Hi, Mom. I love it when people come in support authors because it's that support that makes authors continue along their journey. And it looks like you have an amazing journey that you have started. And then you got Justix B, Love from Edinburgh. So with this book, it's your first, not your first children's book, but it's not the first book. You were in an anthology for poetry before the
Mhm.
children's book, which was a little different of a subject. So do you see yourself continuing in the multi-genre um, wave, or do you see yourself just doing children's books?
No, I have many different types of stories that I plan on doing. A couple of, well, most of them thrillers, but I also wanted to do dramas, mysteries, um, comedy, and I kind of want to head towards screenwriting, so writing for movies, because I love watching movies, and
Nice.
that's definitely
Yeah.
something that I want to do. I want to write a script and have it produced and shown on the big screen. That would be like awesome if I were able to do that.
Yeah. Will you write like thriller screenplays or just
Yes,
any screenplay?
I have about maybe 3 or 4 already written that I need to just expound a
What?
little bit more. Yes, and because like I know for screenwriting, they say because studying for creative writing at school, they were telling me that it's best to have at least 5 scripts so that an agent would most likely pick you up. Because if you just have one
Yeah.
script, it would be a little bit harder. So I was like
Yeah.
pushing on that, like writing as much scripts as I can so that I would be I would have a higher chance of getting picked up because definitely like writing a script and having it produced is something that I really want. So that's like my main focus right now. As soon as I graduate, I want to just finish writing those scripts and then submitting them and getting them out there.
That's fascinating because I I'm a multi-genre author. I'm a multi-genre like connoisseur of TV and movies and reading myself. Like I will sit here and fall asleep to Golden Girls, but then during the day I want to watch all my murder mysteries, right? I can't watch them at night because I don't want to fall asleep and have one of those dreams and I wake up and scare myself. So I
Hmm.
love that you're diving into so many different elements of it. It just it's a testament of how your mind can go from one thing to the other, but you can weave that in there. Now,
Hmm.
where do you get these ideas? How do they pop into your brain, and are they from experiences, or are they from just pure ideas that come out of your head? Because mine are a culmination of both, honestly.
Hmm. Well, yeah, the same combination of both. Most of them are kind of inspired by true events that I've been through. You know,
Mhm.
like for example, the first book that I did, it was based on like a ghost experience that I've been through. So, and then My Best Friend the Cat, well, it's based on an actual cat that I had. So, and some of
Yeah.
the scripts that I've written, they're kind of like expanded on a certain memory or kind of like the life I've been through. Um, so that's what I've been doing, or that's like kind of like the ideas behind my scripts or my stories, just based on my life experiences.
Very, very interesting. So, what does a day in the life of Elizabeth Casanova look like?
Well, right now I'm studying, trying to focus on graduating. That's my main thing. And then I do freelance work, freelance design. So I'm designing like small ads or advertisements, doing photo edits or designing websites and things like that related to graphic design. That's what I've been doing, and also taking care of my parents. So and also our rescue animals. We have like 3 rescue dogs and like 5 rescue cats. We're animal
Love it.
lovers here, so that's what I mostly do.
Love it. I would have some cats if I was allowed, but my 5 dogs already chase the neighbors' cats when they're trying to go in and out of the house. So I'm like, okay, I probably don't want to do that. But I will tell you that the woodpecker who pecks on the palm tree is my friend. The lizard who crawls up the tree and the baby lizards that run around, I have names for all of them. So I get your enthusiasm for animals. I,
Yeah.
I totally get that. I'm an animal lover through and through. So your graphic design, let's talk about that a little bit because I was able to
Mhm.
see some of the things that you create and you have a little bit of an anime type feel to some of your work, and that's a lot in your Etsy shop, correct?
Yes.
So, what will you be expanding on that, or is that just something that you want just for fun to make a little money on the side? What is your dream for that?
For the Etsy shop?
Yeah,
Well, for the Etsy shop, it's mostly to, I guess, like raise funds since I'm self-publishing right now.
yeah,
The cost of copywriting and the programs that I pay for designing, and getting author prints, like everything. Since I'm doing on my own, it costs. So the point of the Etsy is kind of like to raise funds for my publishing and to continue my work. Um, so that's why I'm selling like bookmarkers and like little things there to kind of raise funds for my work.
and they're the cutest ever. I was looking at that at your Etsy shop and your bookmarks, and I'm
Hmm.
going, they're super cute. Do you do um, commission work? Because I know a lot of authors are always going, I need someone to design my bookmarks. I need someone to design this. Do you do that type of work for other authors?
Um, well, I was thinking about it. I know I posted on some author groups that I'm in
Hmm.
on Facebook, and I've asked them, if they need help designing or
Hmm.
if they need ads for their books, they can just contact me. So I have, offered to create designs to other authors, mostly
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Yeah, that becomes extremely busy all in of itself. So my question is, if you start with how do you, let me see how I'm going to phrase this. How do you separate yourself from the design side and the author side and balance the two? Because I wouldn't be able to do both of it myself. I'm a one or the other type of gal. Like maybe it's my age. I don't know.
For creating the like book covers for my books, and separating it from my written work, I kind of step back a little bit and I'm able to kind of analyze, thinking about um, well, I mostly go to my graphic design background because we have to kind of look at the demographics of the colors, specific colors that people kind of head towards too, and what kind of styles people mostly like. So I kind of like, even though if I want to go in a certain direction, I through the graphic design. background, I need to understand, people might not go towards that even though I like it, most people might not. So I kind of have
Mhm.
to separate myself from that and kind of realize I need to go in this other direction because it'll mostly attract a bigger audience than the route
Yeah.
that I originally want to go to. So it's kind of like separating between um, kind of like business and kind of like what you want for what's best for your book. Because in the end, you need to mostly focus on that. What's best for your book, even though you kind of like want to go on a separate direction.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I've tried to figure it all out in the years that I've been doing this, and I think every day is a new learning experience. And as long as you're open to learning and learning every single day, you're never going to fail. That's for sure. So what's
Mhm.
the next? So you're working on some scripts. Is that your next big project, or do you have a book that you're going to be writing anytime soon?
Well, I was thinking of self-publishing a poetry book that I've been
Mm,
writing for I guess since 2018, I've been like stacking up all my poems. I've been finding like old notebooks and kind of just putting everything all together in one big document. And from there, I was gonna select the poems that I wanted and kind of like make it a cohesive work piece together. So I've been thinking about doing that either later this year or
mhm.
perhaps next year, but I kind of wanted to go on a pace of publishing like one book per year but last year I wasn't able to publish my best friend the cat book since I got sick for quite a while, so it kind of got pushed back into this year. But from now on, I kind of at least want to put one book out there, one project out there, kind of like pacing myself that way.
Yeah. Give yourself time to perfect your masterpieces versus
Hmm.
the rapid release schedule. I see a lot of people do the rapid release, and I even did it myself at one point. And it does definitely have some value. It's some great value for a lot of people. I had to pull back from the rapid release. I couldn't keep up with it. I was like, okay, yeah, no, I can't do this anymore. And I
Hmm.
found for me, my work became better once I slowed down and kind of let it marinate, for lack of better words, right? So,
Hmm.
how has being here in Brownsville and being someone from Brownsville opened you up to your experiences and sharing that with the world? What has been one of the things that you think has made you a very unique author and someone who can share a very unique message with the world because of being here in Brownsville?
Well, I believe Brownsville, it's very diverse. We have a lot of like our own culture down here, and um, we have a lot of experiences that we go through and a lot of things that go down here. We've been on the news a couple of times in Brownsville, and
Yeah,
um, I kind of like uh well people think well some people think like Brownsville's just a small town and
yeah,
I kind of want to say like even though like I'm from a small town, I kind of want to give others inspiration saying like even though we're from here, we can do something great. Like we can um like become famous authors or famous creators or
yeah.
famous singers. Like you can pursue your dream even if you're from a small town. That's kind of like what I want to do or I'm trying to do, with my publishing.
Yeah. Small but mighty. That's a very inspiring message that you have, Elizabeth, because people do not realize the power that Brownsville has and the amazing people that come from this town. In the past 5 years that I've been here, I've seen the compassion, the passion, and the creativity of the people down here, including my husband and his family. And I here, do you still, are we still
Yeah, it's
with
a
this?
little okay, yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
good. We had a little hiccup. They
Yeah.
wanted to try to hiccup us, but you know what? We roll with the punches here. Well, anyways, like I was saying, the enormous amount of talent that is here in Brownsville that is untapped is just beginning to happen. And it happens with people like yourself that are willing to take the chance on yourself. And I'm so glad that you did. And I know we had the blog interview on you just, I think,
Mhm.
last week or the week before, where you shared some of your information. You were at the mall for an event, and now you're here. And we're just starting to see what you have to offer, and it's absolutely phenomenal. So I'm so excited for what you are about to share with the world. I'm going to add your links in here real quick so everybody has the
Mhm.
ability to go and click those links. We've got your Facebook, we've got your website, and we have the Amazon link where people can go and check out the book. They can go grab your children's book, and it'll have your poetry anthology that's there as well.
Mhm.
Excuse me. So the link for those who are going to listen to the podcast next Friday when we get it up on the podcast link, the website is https:// Elizabeth Casanova 01.myportfolio.com, where you can go and see the graphic design. She has her Etsy shop. There's also her books, just everything that she does phenomenally on her site as well. So we all know that I get on here and I get a little excited, especially when I get to talk to somebody from here in Brownsville. Um, is there anything that you want to tell your audience or get out into the universe, because this is all about you, not about me, that we may not have been able to talk about with my little chatty self here?
Well, I know later in June, I believe about the last week of June, I'm gonna do another reading event for children. I believe it's a children's book reading that's for animal adoption. So the
Nice.
one who's creating the event, he read my story and he told me that he really liked it, and he was hoping that by me reading it to the audience there, it would kind of like help uh, people realize that cats too, like they're also great companions. Because a lot of cats here, specifically in Brownsville, or the lower valley, they're kind of hard to adopt because a lot of
Yeah.
people kind of like there's a stigma where cats they're kind of cold or they're like not as lovable, but they actually are. And he told me that he was kind of hoping that my book and me explaining like the experience with my cat would kind of like help other people realize that cats can also be great companions and they deserve to be loved and adopted too. So the
Absolutely.
event, yes, so the event, he's still setting the dates, but it will be the last week of June. And later I'll put the information on my website and on my author page, specifying what date it will be on.
Well, make sure you send an email to us with that information, and we'll share it out on our platforms too to try to help people learn about that. And if they could
Hmm.
show up or bring their kids to learn about that, and maybe they'll get themselves a cat to love and share their
Yeah.
lives with. As long as they're going to be good animal parents, because if I find out they're going to be bad
Hmm.
animal parents, and I'm going to be upset with them. You don't want me upset with you. Just saying. um, yeah, and we had a fantastic author, Eliza Garza. She's out of McAllen, but here in the Valley. And the Valley is, we're our own little nest here in the Valley. And she has a
Hmm.
children's book, Raspa con mi grandpa. And she's all over the schools. Like she goes everywhere around the Valley and the schools and everything. And I'm going to, after we're done here, I'm going to give you her information because I think you guys should definitely marry up and talk about promotions and marketing and stuff because she's just this fantastic spirit, and I think that
Hmm.
you guys would be amazing together. So, but I've had a fantastic time talking to you, Elizabeth, and I know this isn't going to be our last time talking. So, thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing your story, your light, and everything that you do with everybody. And next time you publish another book or you have another event, make sure you let us know. We'll definitely shout it out here on the author's porch. And thanks for being that amazing talent here in Brownsville and showing everybody that it may be small, but it's mighty. And the voice that when everyone gets together and lifts each other up, the amazing things that somebody can do. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thanks. And everybody, make sure you come back each week and watch us here on the Author's Porch. Thanks for being here. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye, Elizabeth.
Thank you.